One of the videos that really blew up on this channel that I had zero expectations for at all whatsoever. I just found it interesting. But considering there's new developments on it, I don't know, figure I might as well talk about it because there's a lot of people that showed up on the channel because of this, so might as well do my due diligence, right? Bob Saget is smiling and uninjured in haunting last photo as he poses with Valet outside his Florida hotel, and selfie taken hours before he was found dead in his room from traumatic head injury. More on that in a moment, but also because there's been a total publication blackout for, I don't really know what reason, because we're never going to get to the bottom of this case anyways, of any sort of media pertaining to the death and all the circumstances that are there. So radiating his trademark warmth and modesty. Again, you had no idea what he talked about in his comedy act. This is the exclusive final photo of America's dad, Bob Saget. The 90s was 30 years ago, people. Taken minutes before he retired to his Florida hotel suite and died in a freak fall. Remember, it was alleged that he banged his head against the headboard violently. Hard enough where you could compare it also to getting hit in the back of the head with a baseball bat, but details, right? Revealed for the first time by DailyMail.com, Full House legend and Fuller House legend and America's Funniest Home Videos legend and Half-Baked legend. Anyways, the list goes on, and former Opie and Anthony alumni. Anyways, appears uninjured and in perfect health. In a haunting selfie taken by a valet who parked his rental car at the Ritz-Carlton Orlando Grand Lakes. A cop used the image to determine the 65-year-old actor suffered a fatal head injuries after he arrived at the Glitzy Golf Resort in the early hours of January 9th and not before. The photo is a clear shot of Mr. Saget's face with his glasses on. There's no evidence of injury or bruising near his left eye that was evident post-mortem. That's another piece of information that I don't know if it was made public or not, that he hit the front of his head. I thought all of the issues were from the back of his head, because that's all the illustrations that were out there as well. So why are they so concerned with his front eye? Oh, that's the one that became dislodged from his cranium because he was hit with tremendous amounts of force from a simple fall, right? Valet worker Orlando Nunez, 21, took the selfie with Saget in an exclusive interview with the Daily Mail. I didn't see any injuries. He didn't seem hurt. He wasn't slurring his words. He was exactly as I remember while watching him on TV as a child. I was in awe. What show was on the air? You're 21, right? So you were born, obviously, in 2000. I can do a little bit of math on that one. Or I guess cover my bases, 2000 or 2001. What show that Bob Saget was on was currently on the air at that point, unless he was watching reruns of Full House. But whatever. I'm sure he's not lying when it comes to all that stuff anyways. And yeah, no, for being 65, just for men, and always, if you can pull it off. Investigators from Orange County Sheriff's Office never determined exactly how Saget severely fractured his skull, but they suggest he slipped and struck his head on either a carpeted floor or a padded headboard of his bed. Those two things are significantly different, and that's what we're going to get to, okay, with the carpeted floor strategy, because it was always the padded headboard, and I think they got a picture of it right there. Yeah, headboard right there. But again, with extreme force, just simply falling for something that's 5 feet in the air, because I got a bed frame that's right there, and as you can see, and I'm a tall bastard, and I can just go stand by it. You can't hear me that well, but I'm back here. I'm 6'7", 6'6", whatever, okay, and that's right up to my shoulder. And I'm pretty sure Bob Saget, okay, like he's what, somewhere between 5.5 and 6. If he falls, okay, naturally, without, taking a running head start at that fucking thing, no way in hell he caves in the back of his skull, dislodges his left eye. So slipping and falling, again, on a carpeted floor, and I know, like, hotel carpet, and again, that's apparently a shot, like, they're just very, very, very short carpet, easy cleaning, obviously. I've fallen and slipped and cracked the back of my head in a warehouse, okay, before, like, concrete floor. I slapped and it kind of made like that raw meat kind of just hitting a cutting board sound, that kind of sound. That was the back of my head. on the floor, okay? And I understand I was probably like, what, oh, that's a little bit fuzzy. No, I'm just saying it was like 19, 20 at the time. And I'm still here today, unless this is all just a complete and total dream, which would be funny as all hell, but I didn't come up with injuries like that. And that was a cement floor, and that was me acting like an asshole with the shoes that didn't necessarily have the most fucking traction on them or whatever, kicking a cardboard box, trying to be funny and, you know, doing a joke or whatever. But the visual gag was me just kind of, you know, the tongue agape after I fucking cracked my dome. But no, kicking a cardboard box, taking a good run at it, and then just whoop, both feet go up in the air, smack my head, and then I just pop back up, because that's just how that shit goes. So falling and cracking your head on a carpeted floor, theoretically not taking a run at anything, like, unless he's going to do the old hack thing of just running in and then just face planting on the big old bed and, you know, missing the mark. I don't know, but there should be blood splatter from wherever you hit your... Again, all of this shit just... It doesn't add up, dude. Our purpose was to locate specific places or items in the room that could have caused the trauma found on autopsy, the report states. Countertops, tables, nightstand, and other hard furniture in the room all had sharply defined edges and corners, and were thought to be unlikely due to the fact that they would have had lacerated the skin. Counters in the bathroom and the shower stall were ruled out for some reason. Oh, for the same reason. Most of the chairs and couches were thickly upholstered and were too soft to have caused the type of extent of injury Mr. Saget suffered. As mentioned earlier, most of the suite was carpeted, the headboard of the bed was lightly padded, and set slightly out from the wall. These are listed here as possible mechanisms of injury, but nothing was located in the room that allows for a definitive conclusion. But a definitive contusion. I'll see myself out. But yeah, no, that's the headboard, and that was the prevailing theory for quite a long time. And then, of course, that's the bathroom, which, well, it's a Ritz-Carlton. Obviously, it was going to be a nice room, but yeah, a lot of sharp places, but you would have seen, yeah, like they said, lacerations, because, okay, yeah, I'd imagine if you would have bonked his head on, what, the towel rack that's on the shower door handle or whatever, that would have either dislodged that railing or completely shattered the door, and that would have been just a little bit of a precise hit. But yeah, again, for a multitude of reasons, nothing in there really fits the description. Saget had driven himself back from the stand-up gig 2 hours away in Jacksonville before handing over the keys of his Chevrolet Impala, like a true working comedian, just driving a respectable American-made mid-sized vehicle and walking into the Ritz-Carlton at about 2:13 a.m. The father of three was last seen on closed-circuit television, walking purposefully across the lobby before entering his room at 2:17. When he failed to check out later that day, security let themselves into the plush suite at around 3:53 p.m. and found Saget slumped dead in his bed with swelling and small bruises in the corner of his left eye. Oh, I guess I a little bit over-exaggerated that, but the fact that he cracked the back of his head and small bruises in the corner of his left eye, interesting. The door to room 962 was latched from the inside, and there was no sign of struggle. Then how did they get in? Anyways, nothing was damaged, no trace of blood on his sheets or bedding, the report adds. And usually the internal door of the adjoining room 961 was found unlocked, but staff established that nobody had been inside while Saget was there. Theoretically, they should have electronic monitoring to know who and what were breaking the seal. So yeah, okay. I just find this incredibly fascinating because these injuries don't line up to a simple slip and fall accident. And I think that's what a lot of people find interesting about this. But let's take a look at this theory that I'll properly size this. My mistake. I'm sorry. Saget's fractures possibly caused by a fall on carpeted floor. Let's hear out some theories. Fractures around Bob Saget's eye sockets, trying to flow all of those words into one, and bleeding around his brain were possibly caused by the comedian hitting something hard, covered by something soft. Wow. Caused by something fast, coming to a sudden stop. such as a carpeted floor, according to the report released Tuesday that provides more details of the TV star's death. In an incident report released by Orange County Sheriff's Office in Orlando, a detective notes that Chief Medical Examiner Joshua Stephanie, a girl's name, said the fractures would have stunned Mr. Saget and that he would have experienced dizziness. He had been with people at the time. They would have noticed confusion, balance, and or slurred speech, the report states. It does not pinpoint a location for Saget's fall, but Stephanie told the detective it would have been impossible for that type of injury to make a 2-hour drive from the Jacksonville area to Orlando, as he did the night before his body was discovered. Impossible or improbable? I'll let you decide. Remember, he is 65 after all, and certain physiological changes could happen. I don't know, man. Medical examiner concluded after the autopsy in January that Saget died from an accidental blow to the head, likely from a backwards fall. Investigators called the luxury suite found no evidence of foul play and all that other fun stuff. But we got a picture. We got a picture of this medical report, and you know what? Hey, I think I found another culprit on this one. And we got, yes, the medical examiners, going back to the Daily Mail article signed by Dr. Girl's name. Okay. Cause of death, blunt head trauma. But I think he wasn't quite doing his due diligence on this one. Blunt force injuries to the head, abrasions to the posterior scalp, so back of the head, subgeal hemorrhage underlying the abrasion of the posterior scalp, blood clotting and blood flow to the back of the head, linear fracture at the base of the skull involving a right occipital bone and right temporal bone. I can run down all of this stuff and break it down for you, but what we need to take a look at is his findings continued. His cardiovascular system, nothing really anything wrong with that, but his respiratory system, he was COVID-19 positive. Chalk that one up, boys. Florida got another one. But with all of that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. Why don't you follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.